Welcome, finalists, back to episode 20 of The Vault. I am Waltz, your host as always. I'm joined by Rio. How's it going, Rio?
Oh, it's going great today. And today's episode is sponsored by Isolt,
The
the
bias
bias wrecker.
Wrecker.
Hey, there we go. Not too bad.
Perfect. Today we have a very special guest. Some of you have noticed this is Ruby Labubu, the player who a lot of people got to know and absolutely adore over the course of the Embark closed qualifiers for the Grand Major. We're going to be getting into an interview with him in just a moment. But first, you're probably wondering where we've been. It's been a little bit. It's been a couple months. A lot has happened. Rio flew to Sweden. He was working the closed qualifiers. You saw him on stage. You saw that beautiful man doing his amazing work. And I had a kid. So it has been a very busy couple months. And that's a reason why we dipped out for a little bit. But we are back. We might at some point go back and go over some of those previous events. Obviously, we had the closed qualifiers, open qualifiers. PHL had our open qualifiers. So a lot of stuff has been going on. I'm sure we'll cover those at some point, maybe in a retrospective on sort of the last few months leading up to the major. But Rio, we do have a couple upcoming events that we can jump into right now.
Yeah, and the upcoming events are we made it through the PHL closed qualifiers, or the open qualifiers, I should say, and we have now moved on to the play days. So all of the teams that have qualified, we have it separated in NA and EU, and they're going to be battling it out starting every Wednesday and Saturday. So those are going to be quite fun to watch, and they're going to basically lead us all the way to the Grand Major. I think that they finish, what is it, 2-3 weeks before? I think it's just 2 weeks before the Grand Major kicks off.
Very soon
So,
before.
yeah, and at the time of recording it, I think I head back to Sweden with Waltz this time in 49 days. I don't know if your calendar is the same, Waltz, but it's under 50 for me. So I am excited. Yeah, we have a lot of exciting things to go, upcoming, but what we want to dive into today is an interview with Ruby Labubu. So, Ruby, to get things started, what was your first interaction with the finals?
I didn't play any of the open or closed beta. It was start of season, probably like 2 weeks into the game releasing. That's when a friend asked me like, "Oh, there's this cool game, a lot of destruction." I was like, "Hey, it's free. Let me try it out." I was a light main at the start. I was like, "Oh, this is the best. Has invis, doing tons of damage, but of course you get in one shot." That was back in the days with the C4 RPG.
Oh,
Crazy
boy,
times, crazy times. And then the heavy SA with the mesh, with where you can just keep on activating, and it's
Dark
yeah,
days.
it's crazy. Like thinking about one of the funniest things I always bring a talk about is like thinking about all the past seasons, how much the game's changed. Like it's always evolving, always trying to think of different ways, especially now that they keep bringing new weapons and gadgets, seeing how much we can like really try and make this game most exciting, Just trying to keep
Do you miss those days sometimes?
I think it had a soft spot in my heart because like there's so many people that come and go throughout the community's great. Don't get me wrong. I made so many friends with the finals community, and that's the reason why I'm still here. And I do miss the times, but I'm glad it's done. I don't want anything to be meta, not meta, but have the same play style for 4 seasons, and you're saying telling yourself like, oh, the game can get stale. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Sure. That leads us into a great question, which is, how did you get your first username? Your username. Let's start with, I think it's a very general question, actually. Let's just talk about your username, because you have 2 usernames right now.
Yes.
And I'll let you take it from there.
My original username is Meowfum. I came up with it. I was thinking it used to be Star Wars fan 568. Funny enough, but then I thought to myself, that sounds like I don't like Star Wars that much nowadays. So I thought of putting 2 words, and it was meow because my sister just got a kitten at the time, and I was like, yeah, we'll go meow, and then Fum from SpongeBob. I don't know, I was a big SpongeBob enjoyer back in the day, so I was like, there's this episode where SpongeBob's like "fum is chum" or something around the line. So that's how I got it, put it together, and it was a unique username. So that was it. And then for Ruby Labubu, that was funny enough. For I every season after they changed it for 30 days. You can't change your name, but before then, you could change your name in like 10 minutes. Yeah, and after they changed it, I was like, you know what? Started the seasons last this long. Let me change my name. It'll be funny. Like make a joke out of it. That way people don't know. Yo, this guy's crazy. Like I've never seen this guy username before, and I would change my Steam name also with it, so that way it's very hard for. Sorry, someone walked in. But yeah, then it's just very hard for people to like, oh, who could this be? And I think it's quite an enjoyment to like have a different ulterior name. That way you don't have any pressure. No one's trying to grief you out. Like who would want to grief out Ruby Labubu at the start?
Right.
So yeah.
And so that was just on a whim. Do you own a Labubu? That's
yes,
thing
I do.
nowadays, right? I'm sorry,
Funny
I'm
enough,
too old.
after the closed quals, one of my friends, a couple days before the closed quals, it was actually my birthday, and one of my good friends actually gave me a Labubu for it.
Oh, how fun!
So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Okay, and so, of course, you switched to Ruby Labubu. A lot of people now know that name. Might be one of the most well-known sort of like names, probably in terms of like the pro scene on Reddit, like because of a lot of the memes that got made. But a lot of that came down to, I think people really enjoyed the fact that you play weapons that aren't the classic meta, and one of those being Sledge. People really like watching Sledge. I personally really like watching Sledge. But I've heard that you've gotten like you get to Ruby all the time. You're an incredibly good player with the Sledge. Why the Sledge? You started out as a light
Oh
main.
my god!
How did you get to? Did you just get tired of being one shot by the Sledge? Did you turn to the dark side? How did that go?
It turned into like the light being squishy. And when I first started playing the game, it was very hard for me to understand what. Especially with light, the positioning is so key, and trying to get the right angle, making sure you're not being able to get hit and you still can output some damage. I changed to heavy, and then I realized that light is they are so slippery to get away. And I thought to myself, this is bad season. What is something that I can cheese the light? And they're gonna be thinking to themselves, dang, this class sucks. And that's what I was thinking. So back in season 2, I ran charge and slam Sledge. Back when Winch was in. I don't think Winch was a thing in season 2, right? That was season 3.
No, that was season 3.
Yeah, and then for season 3 for TA days, only Sledge and KS. Sledge and KS Mile, and everyone ran light. There was in season 3 with 5 lights invis seen on roofs, and I wish I had clips that I could go back, and there would be multiple games where I'm dropping like 20 kills a game, and it's like
amazing.
It's the easiest thing in the world, and everyone's like, wait, you can run heavy in TA? Of course, everyone back in TA days, you had the encryption key, and all my teammates would be like, you're carrying it. And that was the job. That was the job. But yeah, it started with that, just being able to one-shot lights at the end of the day.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Did you ever consider switching off when they kind of nerfed all of the the melee weapons, basically?
I wanted it to get nerfed. It got too
really?
popular with it, and now, it was like season 5 or season 6. I'm trying to remember. My memory's all jumbled up after all these seasons when it got nerfed.
No, really, I get
both,
it.
I think actually, like it got a slight nerf in both seasons.
Okay,
just kind of
yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I didn't like how people were using it, and then just because they didn't understand that just being able to right-click someone isn't the whole part about Sledge. It's all about making the opportunity to find creating creating an opening for your teammates because you have that destructibility, breaking through walls,
Yeah.
being able to climb underneath, making a hole underneath them. I'm not sure if any of the analysts ever watch like what I'm doing to set up points. I'm always creating holes, left, right, up and down, just so my teammates have are able to escape. And plus, it's hard. You know you can become so much. There's so many different entries,
Yeah.
different exits. It makes the game it opens up the fact that the unknown fact. Hey, if I jump down, where could the sledge be? You know, it's the being able to have the enemy second guess themselves.
Yeah. Is that why you seem to like KS23 as like your second go-to pick? Because of
Oh,
the
well,
destruction?
you are too good. You're already in my mind now. You're already analyzing too well. Yeah, that's what KS is fun. Like being able to break
Oh yeah.
walls and some walls in 2 shots, some walls in 1. You know, having that. I don't like the fact that there's a lot of small like vegetation that can block the bullets where you're just like, dang,
Yep.
this if I was using any other gun, this
It'd be
gun makes me
fine.
sad. But the
Oh, nice.
highlights, there's he's not on Twitch, but he's a Korean streamer and he has motion blur and he only uses KS.
Interesting.
And the highlights he shows is incredible. Just it looks like a movie, and that's part of the fun of the finals, making it like a game show. I know
Yeah.
it should
Oh, it's so
should be like
cinematic.
competitive. Oh, let's use the most what I'm looking for, the best weapons to make it easier on the team to win. You know, you're looking for the most viable,
I love
and that way you're not stressing out on weapons that are they could be viable, but it's a lot harder to achieve to pull off and to actually create the effectiveness, how well it can work on another team. But the KS I do enjoy. I don't know, probably from TA days when you could do the winch shoot and then melee combo. But hey, that's what the new pistol
Oh,
is
I remember
for.
that. Yeah. True. So, talking about the pistol
Yeah.
and sort of your decision to run things that aren't considered the meta, as we know, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But what do you think about the meta in the game in general? Because you already talked about how much it's changed. Do you think it's gone to a good place? Do you like where things are now?
Yeah, I think right now it's in a good place. Of course, it could be. There's always room for improvement. I don't. If there's anything that really bothers me, I wouldn't say there's one outlier that I would be like, they nerfed the Pike. I think Pike was pretty very very oppressive. But besides
Yeah.
that, I can't really put a point. I think the meta is good. There's like for me, I can still run kind of whatever and kind of make it work in some regards. So I don't mind it. I know some people want they did nerf the smokes. The smokes were kind of crazy, and we tried to pull it off in the close quals,
Yeah.
but the execution wasn't there. I think.
Well, no, that's awesome. And speaking of close quals, how did you meet your teammates that you ended up playing with?
I first met. He went by El Simp back in the day, but then he name changed. I guess all of us just name change. That's what we like to do. But I met him back in season 4, season 5. We started just running Sledge. We played with this another player called Muntmaster, who's a sword main, and that was our third. And we would
Yeah, we're aware of
yeah, we would smoke steal, double cash outs. First cash out, smokes either just smoke steal or stall, and we would go double light and heavy, and we won probably 95% of our games. And it was absolutely insane to think that we could just go AFK, maybe 4 minutes left in the game, and be like, "Hey guys, someone can AFK. We'll just run around, get some kills." But that's where I met Honor the Pure, and then for Tiger was actually Honor's friend, because before before this lineup, we actually wanted I Love Rice to play with us, and
Okay.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
okay.
and that was that we wanted to make a double heavy comp with a medium work, but
Ooh.
we got we got all destroyed.
You can use any
Okay,
language you want on this podcast.
absolutely
Yeah.
pummeled against Ricardo's team. Like Rice wanted to go 8 maps.
Mm.
She wanted to do even more scrim maps against them.
Uh-huh.
We had 0 cash outs. We got 0, and they were
Ooh.
and I was telling Rice the whole time. I'm like, Rice, can we just stop? I don't think we. Can we just like look at the VOD and like see what we're doing wrong? And she's like, no, we should keep on going. And I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. So after
Oh my
that,
god.
I was like, we gotta switch it up. There's like 2 weeks left before before the open quals, and
Yeah.
that's when we picked up Tiger. And Tiger's been
Nice.
he's a grinder. Like both my teams are grinders. I can't say more. They grind more than I do, and I feel like I'm the most casual one to be honest. So they're putting me on their backs, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely have a part to play yourself. You made it. You made it through the open qualifier. You made it through the first open qualifier,
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I was actually watching your stream, I think, when you qualified, which is a really cool moment.
Oh yes,
Um,
yes. I jumped up in my
and,
chair and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was exciting. So you move into the closed qualifiers, right?
yes.
It went pretty. It ended up going. I mean, considering how the teams you were up against, you ended up in some really stacked lobbies and made it almost all the way in. You were almost there. Did you have like any special preparation? I'm sure you were doing scrims and stuff like that. But what was your expectation going in? Did you think you would get as far as you did?
We were expecting to at least get it to phase 2. We wanted to go at least against we were thinking we could go against Envy or try to grief them out. You know, at the end of the day, we wouldn't want to go against them in a 3v3. And that's why we wanted to double us going into it. We were thinking is the craziest loadout. We had Tiger not on defibs. He was on, oh my gosh, he was on jump pad, grenade, and what was it? Was it smoke or I'm trying to think. Or flashbangs. I think he was on flashbangs or something
beautiful.
crazy like
Okay.
that. And then I was on goo barricades, and then RPG. Oh no, goo barricades and then smoke, or something like that. And we were thinking,
Fully off meta.
yeah, fully off meta. We're trying to smoke steal. We're trying to cheese hard because we're like, yo, let's make some chaos. You know, everyone's gonna play standard. All the scrims are just standard. And it's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. Even watching some of those scrims, and it's everyone doing the same thing. And I know you get to practice the consistency of it, but once you realize, hey, if this team does something off and you're not used to it, it can cause people to second guess, and that's what you capitalize on them not the undecisiveness a lot of times in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that because it feels like everybody's playing a chess game and then you come around and hit the chessboard with a hammer and you poke a hole in it and it works out so well. And that's what we saw. We just saw the disruption of everything and it was fun. It was fresh. It was really kind of exciting to see somebody do that in, the closed qualifier. So yeah, I really enjoyed it from that aspect as well. But looking back, is there anything you would change? Would you do anything a little bit different or were you pretty confident in how you guys played?
We kind of should have just played it standard for the cash outs. I felt like a lot of teams like, oh, they're trying to cheese because they're bad at the game and they can't win a 3v3. But no, I told my teams, guys, let's just make it exciting. Let's make it fun for the viewers. I know we're good players, but I'm like, dude, let's put on a show. Let's seriously put on a show for them and let everyone know how entertaining the finals can be. And I just want the community to grow and to have fun with the game. I think some people take it way too serious. Not too serious, but like way out of the ballpark on sort of things. At the end of the day, it's a game. We're trying to have fun. Of course, we can be competitive, but let's try to have some enjoyment out of it.
And it definitely seems like you succeeded at that, right? Like, I mean, not only did you guys seem to enjoy yourselves, but also people definitely enjoyed the experience of watching you, you know, and the creativeness that you have. I think when you went up against Akazo's team and you decided to switch off into a charge and slam KS-23 to deal with the goo shenanigans with it absolutely blew everybody away. Nobody expected that to happen. You forced Akazo off of his signature goo gun in the second map. It feels like you just completely dismantled that. Like you've already said that you were very much you're a KS-23 player. You played Charge and Slam back in season 2. Was that like a specific strat that you planned, or was that just spur of the moment? You were like,
spur
oh my gosh,
of the moment. Actually, I never pulled it out in any of our scrims. I was like, I told, funny enough, I told while we were waiting for the game to start, I was like, yo, I'm gonna pull out the KS charge. You guys fine with this? And Tiger and Honor are like, yeah. If you think if you think you can make it work, let's give it a go. And that, I can't. My teammates are just the best. Just letting me run whatever I kind of want in that regard. I know other teams would be like, "Are you a psycho? Come on, we haven't even practiced this." But like they full on have so much faith in me that I can make it work and we can win.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, really having a good team behind you is just so important, and just having that dynamic where you can chat with them and make a weird call like that and they go for it. That's pretty rare. So I really support that. And I guess looking forward to PHL season 2, are you guys doing anything different, or y'all kind of charging ahead with it, or
we've
just kind
already
of, what are your thoughts?
we're already looking forward to bringing some new, just making it interesting, seeing if we can actually pull it off, and showing and bringing some light onto PHL, saying like we still have this, we can still make it as entertaining as possible. Like I'm not sure if you saw, but Tiger did run Serb for our to qualify for PHL, and I've never seen Tiger run Serb. I think I asked him, I'm like, yo, when was the last time you ran this? And he's like, probably like 1 season ago. And I was like, okay, let's give it a go. And he seriously popped off. And I was like, wait, we got that in our pocket? We have so many. My teammates are so versatile with it, and even I am with what weapons I can use. So I think that just we have a little bit of an edge on having teams not knowing what we're gonna run. Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of value to being unexpected, and you already talked about that. Like the ability to do something unique and cause chaos throws a lot of teams off their game. Like we saw that when way back in season 0 when the original Sledge, when the original like Sledge that we had in PHL, Llama was still playing Sledge, and teams didn't know how to go against it. So I'm excited to see what you guys can do. It definitely is going to be a very you're going to be a team to watch for me for sure, to see what you can pull off. But I am curious because melee weapons have been a sore spot for the top players for a pretty long time.
Yep.
To various degrees. They were often banned in scrims. People didn't want to handle them, partly because they also just thought they were never actually viable at the top level, sometimes because they just didn't want to play them. Have you encountered any friction when it comes to like players? Like, has there been any pushback? It's like, oh, you shouldn't be here. Like, how is that?
A ton. Oh well, it was a ton back in season 3. Season 3 was everyone's like, there was a ton of high level rubies were like, oh, it's Meowfum. He's on Sledge. This guy can't shoot, can't aim. He's using I do use what is it, melee assist? Yes, it is that right there. Hopefully Embark's not listening to me, but they probably should work on it. There was times where you could be sledging someone through the wall and it would slightly gravitate to their position.
Oh wow!
And I'm not sure that a lot of people knew about that. And there's a lot of times where people are like, oh, you wouldn't be a Ruby if you weren't on Sledge. And at the time, I'm just like having fun with it. Of course, I was like, it is very cheese. There's a lot of back when to kill a light, you winch them, light attack, and then melee to confirm the light kill. It was you had to respect it, and there is so much punishment to give your life over just because you just wanted to challenge the heavy with a Sledge. I do think that melee weapons as a whole, we should be lucky that Embark put them in. To be honest, it is very
Nice, yeah.
niche. The execution has to be there, though. Of course, I would never want the melee weapons to be very viable because then everyone would be
Yeah.
using it. It would be just a melee fest. But I think most of them are pretty good right now. I was actually trying to use Spear. Spear kind of is a little bit underwhelming. Riot Shield, I'm glad it got nerfed. There's no doubt about that. It was the most irritating thing to be like, oh, I want to use a gun this time. I'm tired of the Sledge. But then we go against like 2 Riot Shield guys, and I'm like, wait a second, let me get back on Sledge.
Yeah.
But I think if there's to the melee community, it's like I think it's semi good. I feel bad for the sword gamers, but you just gotta find your way. Make sure the execution. It's still kind of viable, of course. Playing melee, it's a lot about it's so much about the positioning that and knowing where the enemy is gonna be. You don't even care about doing the combo. You're caring about just understanding where they could go, where outplaying them to the fullest degree. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is like you're playing an like a worst weapon possible, and you're trying to go against like a gun. Of course, you're gonna lose. You can't make it. You can't have it be stronger than a gun. It's just not how the game is supposed to be played in some regard. So that's my take on it.
No, that's great. And honestly, I just really enjoy y'all really embracing the off meta because it's so cool and so fun. And I think that I want to ask, like, would you ever incorporate a CL40? I mean, because your team seems to be a little more dynamic than others. So I don't
I
know,
would
just
have
throwing
to
it out there. I'm kind of curious.
CL forward.
Rio wants it so bad.
He's shaking
He
his
wants
head.
it so bad.
I can.
It came out on the EU side against a Sledge, so I don't know.
I would have to because the MGL isn't it MGL on the heavy? I haven't used.
MGL's
Yeah,
heavy.
Yeah.
it is. It's awful. Though.
I will have to ask Tiger for that one, unless we ever do like a
Okay.
role swap on the offhand. We were joking that one of these days maybe we just do something crazy. Tiger goes heavy, I go medium or something. But we'll
Yeah.
see. I'll let you know. Maybe we'll pull something
Okay,
out
okay.
special, but. The only times I've seen
Best
anyone
friends forever.
Yeah, I've only seen people run CL with mines, and I think that's you could go crazy with it, but that the setup has to be there, and then the stars have to
Yeah.
align in some regard.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what you do pull out. And obviously, we're very excited that you did decide to play in PHL. Obviously, you've been playing at the high level for a long time. And I imagine that playing in the major qualifiers probably made it easier to jump into PHL and kind of decide to move forward with that. Do you have any hopes for the future? You obviously didn't qualify to the major. You were very, very close. But, what's kind of your hope for this coming year? Do you want to try to make that work, or are you still focused on enjoying the game?
I know Tiger and Honor really want to make it work. For me, after we didn't make the major, it was like, man, I don't know how much
Yeah.
more I can take for give this game because there's a lot of times when playing the finals, I just lose my passion and the enjoyment of it, and it just makes me like there's so many other good games that I can actually
Yeah.
enjoy and have fun with, and that's where I come back to it. I'm trying to find my mojo back and get that excitement because I don't want to ever force it. Ever try to tell myself like, oh, let me do it for someone else. Let me play this game for someone else. But hopefully PHL goes well. Hopefully I can still enjoy the game because it's gotten to the point where I seriously just get on the game, play with Tiger or Honor, and play with some OCE guys. That's how seriously how
really?
bad it's become because I'm just like bored out of my mind. Not saying cash out's boring, but
No, yeah, it's you play the same thing for so long, it always tends to eventually you need
Yeah.
a break, right? Like you just need something different, and I hope you're able to find that. Like I hope that you are able to rekindle that love of the game, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, no, and I totally understand. Like making a run like you guys did, and then not making it right at the end. It's brutal, and I know that must hurt. So I'm with Walt. I hope you find that enjoyment. I hope you find something fun. And just regardless, I'm glad that you guys are in PHL season 2. Hopefully you guys. I love my favorite thing that you've said so far is just like giving them a show, and like that to me from like a caster perspective, a person who's supposed to build a show, I'm like hell yeah, like that's great. So even if that's your spark, you're doing it right. So I don't know, take that as it is, but yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, and hey, I'm gonna make it. We're gonna make the young guns are gonna make it as exciting as possible. I'll give you that. We're coming up with some
Awesome.
different ways to go against other teams, and we're gonna try our best and make it as entertainment as possible. So yeah.
I cannot wait. Well, we definitely got to make sure to tune in for that so you guys can pull off. And some of that will be happening very soon. By the time this is out, the first debut of the Young Guns in PHL is going to be happening. So I'm excited to watch that. Make sure you tune in. But this is your chance now as we kind of get towards the end of this. Do you have any shout outs, any people that you really want to give, like some thanks to, anybody that you've really enjoyed, chatting to? This is your moment for shout outs and letting people know where they can find you.
Well, first I'm going to shout out to my teammates Tiger and Honor the Pure. You can give they both stream on Twitch, and then I sometimes stream. I was thinking of actually streaming more of variety games, but we'll see. You can find me on Meowfum on Twitch. But other than that, thank you guys again for having me. It was great.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed getting to chat with you and get to hear about your thoughts. I genuinely one of the most interesting people I think we've been able to chat to in the way that you talk about the game and the way that you think about it. So it's exciting. And we will drop a link to all of your stuff and your teammates' stuff in the description below. Again, thank you so much for coming on. To everybody who is watching, if you did enjoy that, make sure that you do follow Ruby Labubu /Meowfum on all of his channels and stay tuned for what's coming in. And of course, stay tuned for more episodes of The Vault. We will be a little bit more consistent moving forward. Sorry for our delay, but we'll be coming back soon. So we'll see you on the next episode. But until then, we are right here on The Vault.